Welcome to the Zodiac chat line for our new moon in Libra show. I'm your host today, and of course, I have Cassie with me. Hello.
Hello.
How's goes it?
Oh, we're still doing it.
All
How's it
right, all
going
right.
for you?
You know what? Hey, we're able to do another show, so we think that's great. I think you and I are tired. um, but we still persist, and I think that's the best part about it. I encourage all of you to do the same because, if you still got breath, you should keep it pushing. Anyway, for this Libra new moon, we are at the close of Libra season when this new moon is approaching. And so currently the sun on the 21st, when we have the new moon in Libra, will still be there for its final day. And the next day, the sun will move into Scorpio. And the new moon, of course, as I said, is on the 21st of October, 28 degrees, tail end of Libra. So a lot more maturity in the Libra energy towards the 28-degree mark. We currently also have Mercury in Scorpio, and it will stay there until the 29th of October. Then it will move into Sagittarius. Venus, thank you, Venus. She is at home in Libra and has been there since the 13th of October. That energy is what we need right now. It is great energy that we need right now. Mars is in Scorpio, one of its co-rulers. Very intense there. Probably what we need as well, but hey, no. But on the 4th of November, it will move into Sag. So we do have Mars in Scorpio for quite some time, along with Mercury in Scorpio. You guys are starting to see a theme. Jupiter is in Cancer, of course. Again, we love this placement. Great placement. It will still be there for another 7 or 8 months until the middle, towards the end of June of next year. And we have our retrograde planets of Saturn retrograde in Pisces, Uranus retrograde in Gemini, Neptune retrograde in Aries, and then we'll go back and retrograde into Pisces on the 22nd, the same day that the sun goes into Scorpio. North Node, of course, is still in Pisces. So lots of watery energy. Um, Not any really, no earth, it looks like, and no
Zero fire
fire.
until we
So,
get to those
yeah,
Sagittarius placements. Yeah.
yeah. So feels, lots of feels in all different forms of feels. So this should be
Thoughts and
interesting.
feels. Not a lot of grounding, not a lot of productive energy necessarily at this time. But sometimes we got to experience some stuff and have some conversations, you know?
Reflective. This feels very internal, very reflective, very emotional. I think even if your thoughts get the best of you, your emotions are there, and they both operate very differently. So, one day you feel your thoughts, one day you think your feelings. Who knows? you know? Um, but one of the most interesting things is that Pluto in Aquarius did go direct on the 13th, as I mentioned. And Cassie and I discussed a little bit about Pluto's transit over the past year or so. Pluto initially went into Aquarius in January of 2024, and it stayed there direct all the way until May of 2024, where it went retrograde. It stayed retrograde and also went back retrograde in September of 2024. Let's remember that. So, towards the tail end of the last progression of Pluto and Capricorn, we were right before our election. And Pluto did not go direct until just before the election in October of 2024, but it was still in Capricorn. It did not move into Aquarius until after the election in November of 2024. And it has stayed direct all the way until, again, May of this year, where Pluto once again went retrograde in Aquarius and stayed that way all the way until now, where Pluto is direct, and it will stay direct for the next 17-ish, 18-ish years. So a lot of lessons with all the Scorpio placements, with Pluto and Aquarius, with our collective action, collective transformation, going from Pluto and Capricorn, which has a very capitalistic view, to Pluto and Aquarius, which has a very collective type of view. I think we all should transform our own collectives and see how we are transforming within the collective. I think the push and pull with all of the Scorpio placements, which are going to challenge Pluto and Aquarius, it's going to ruffle some stuff. It is.
Yeah, it's deep. I mean, also, uh, Pluto is Scorpio's, modern ruler. So the effect Pluto's transits are more significant during, periods where there's a lot of it, when the sun is in Scorpio, and when there's a lot of Scorpio energy. And because Aquarius and Scorpio are both fixed signs, that means they don't really get along with each other. They operate in very different ways. But I do think that Pluto, or I'm sorry, Scorpio and Aquarius are they're productive challenges. I think that and you and I talked about this in first this is the first retrograde that we've had for Pluto in Aquarius where it stayed in Aquarius. And so we're really getting rooted into this new phase of the next 20 years or so. And this time, I think since May has given us all a chance to see what the systems are doing. And hopefully, we have had a chance to evaluate our own moral center within those systems and do some of the shadow work, that like Scorpio placements and Scorpio season demands us to do. Say, like, what am I really okay with? What am I really willing to stand up for, and what is really meaningful for me? Because I think we all are going to need to stay aligned with that to make it out of the next 20 years. Okay. And do think, the collective is really going to be doing its collective thing now that Pluto is moving direct. And Pluto will go retrograde. It goes retrograde every year for some period, but this Pluto and Aquarius period it's already interesting, and it's going to continue to be interesting, and really, I think, very, very different than what came before it.
And that is absolutely necessary because what came before it is not working. And it, and if you are familiar with the tarot, Scorpio's card is death. Everybody's like, oh no, death. It doesn't always mean a literal death. It just means the end of something that's no longer working. And it also, in other tarots, you see that death equals rebirth, because once you destroy something, you can create it in a different way. The Pluto and Scorpio rule the eighth house, transformation. And so we are back into America's Pluto return, because our initial Pluto was during the Revolutionary War. Pluto was in Aquarius, and we saw what that had to
Or it
What?
started, well, yes,
Yeah.
you're, I mean,
Well,
because the Declaration of Independence was the very end of Pluto and Capricorn. So once we get into Pluto and Aquarius, that is when we're fighting the Revolutionary Warrior, right? Yeah.
so it's we are again, we've talked about this is cycles, so we are witnessing, you know, it's 2025, that happened in 1776, right? 70, 77,
Hmm.
78, you know, so much has changed, but yet so much has stayed the same. And even as people, it seems to be this same script. There's always somebody trying to be have absolute power. It's always about power. Pluto transits are about power. And this Pluto transit is about the power of the collective. It is no longer about the power of the dollar, because that's what Pluto and Capricorn was about, is about the power of the business person, power of the business, power of the money. Pluto and Aquarius is the power of the collective. And we have repeated, there are more of us than there are of them. It is okay to stand up for the collective, because the individual is not going to survive this. It's this is a collective movement. We are all being affected by everything that is happening right now. The people that are not being affected are not part of this collective. And we are watching plenty of collective movements continue over and over and over again with Pluto and Aquarius. Recently, we just had, I believe, 40 plus, let's just say that number, journalists who had credentials at the Pentagon walk out and give up their credentials because of rules that they are being implemented on that are absolutely absurd. There are rules to hide the truth, to divide people, to create mass hysteria and chaos. So just know that as a collective, we have been saying this, your community is so important. Your local community is so important. If anything happens and we get cut off, you need to know who is in your local community. You need to be able to find the nearest hospital, the nearest shelter, the nearest water supply. Like, this is your community. We have to invest in our own communities right now, and protect everybody in the community, regardless of what they look like, because it's up to us. It really is. What we have also been discussing is people's association and attachment to their religious beliefs, their spirituality, and back to what Cassie said, aligning with their moral code. And religion doesn't, I say this, I don't need religion to align my moral code. I, with my own inner being and my own inner spirituality, align with my own moral code. I don't need a Bible to tell me that this is wrong. I don't need to tell me that thou shalt not do these things. My moral code already knows that. That's what I'm aligned with. And it's very interesting with the Christian type movement, how there is extremes in everything, right? We've seen there's extremes, always extremes in religious and in not formulated. What is it?
Like formal religion
Formal,
or
man-made. I can't even think of the word, but y'all know what I'm trying to say. In that type of religion, extremism is common, but it's also used as fear. And in my eyes, God or the higher power doesn't doesn't want us to fear, wants us to live good without having to fear. If you live this way, you're going to hell and you're doing this. And it's like, can you just treat other people well? Why do you need a fear of going somewhere to just be a good person? Um, and it's been really interesting to see there are a lot of people who are turning away from very conventional religions.
organized religion.
That's my sister.
I knew I'd get there
I know you
eventually.
would.
I was like, what is the term we're looking for?
Thank you, friend. Organized religion, but really defining their own versions of it in spirituality. And I encourage everybody to use this water energy that we're about to kind of go through with the rest of Libra season and through Scorpio season to really delve into what that looks like for you, what spirituality looks like for you, what oneness with the universe and with yourself. Because really, a lot of spirituality is reflection on how you are internally and how you operate as far as what your beliefs are, what your moral compass is, and how you can integrate higher beliefs and higher consciousness through interacting with other people and not necessarily through going to a church every week. Some people it works. I'm always a fan, do what works for you. If going and congregating with people and being in community with them in church, I think that's amazing. But when you are extreme and you are singling out groups of people to condemn them, you are not a Christian. That is not what Christianity is about. Jesus wouldn't be your homie.
Yeah, it is. It's really interesting to watch, watch it play out, and for people to see people realizing that they're, you know, there are forces maybe within their organized religion asking them to deny the reality of their moral code and what they see and feel and experience of the world. And it's also interesting because it's not just happening in the sense that like people are turning away from their traditional church, but like the churches themselves and their leadership are becoming fractured. I mean, the new Chicago Pope has come out strongly for immigrants' rights and against what, the federal government is doing in his city and across the country. And there's an image that has gone viral of ICE agents in Chicago shooting a pastor in the face with a pepper bullet. As he's praying, he asked them to pray with him, and they shot the man in the face with like a pepper. It's not pepper spray. I don't know what the fuck it is, but
No,
some
but
kind
it's
of
like a pepper
chemical
ball.
bullet.
Yeah, it's a pepper
Yeah, a
ball.
pepper ball. There you go. And like, what are y'all on? And I think I was talking to my mom about this today because we were talking about forgiveness versus like consequences for people and what's happening in the world right now.
Mm-hmm.
And my thought is that there needs to be consequences for the grifters, the leaders at the top who have misled people who were already duped by other systems. Because what we are dealing with are a lot of people that were duped by poor schooling, by misguided faith institutions, by entertainment posing as news, by the podcast manosphere grifter group. And like, we have to, I think, for our small communities to survive, that we do have to make space for forgiving those duped individuals for making the realization far too late, because that's what's going to happen. These people fucked around and they may not be finding out yet, but we're all we have found out. We can see it. We didn't need to find out. We know that certain groups have been finding out since 1619, but these people are going to come to the party way too late. But we still have to make space for them, because what is the alternative? We can't, like, there is no, I don't want to fight these fucking people forever. If we can bring them into the fold
Mm-hmm.
and they can find a way to admit that what they thought was true wasn't true, then I think we have to hold space for that. Because the quest for retribution against like every person who voted for this is just not going to,
It
what
doesn't
is that going
matter.
to
Yeah,
accomplish?
yeah,
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 it's
exactly.
not going to
Like, yeah,
accomplish anything. But the
no,
people who are enacting this shit and the, oligarchs and all of this shit, like, yeah, there should be fucking consequences for that. And I know people want leaders. That's a human instinct. And so we need leaders who are going to say, no, we're not letting you get away with this, but also leaders who say, hey, like, we all fuck up sometimes. Y'all found out, so let's try and do better next time. You know what I mean? But it's hard because on some levels, like, I don't necessarily personally want to forgive everyone, but you also realize that there's like, you know, wrath is just, it doesn't lead anywhere. It doesn't lead to a more liberated future. It doesn't lead to a
no.
better
And we're
planet.
already fractured, you know, like fracturing us more. I mean, and honestly, I don't even think fracture is the right word. We're already broken. I don't even think,
Yeah.
I feel like fractured is like we were fractured in January. I feel like we're broken now. Like
Hmm.
we have,
Hmm.
we're broken, and it's okay to be broken because there's always room to heal and repair. And that is one of the things that I think Scorpio energy is underestimated for is its healing abilities
Mm.
because of the depth of what Scorpio means to the core. And it's not surface. Don't try it. Anybody was talk to somebody with Scorpio placement, ain't nothing surface about their shit. The depth of it allows for so much healing, but it hurts because you are like to the core of your soul, which is, and it's deeper than that, which is the depths that a lot of people don't know how to reach. And it is a difficult, and I commend and a lot of people with Scorpio placements because they live in a sea of depth all the time, and it's very hard and very painful. And so, but the amount of healing that comes from that energy is incredible. And we have the ability to do that by using the Pluto energy in Aquarius with all of this Scorpio energy and allowing us to be sad, allowing us to be angry, allowing us to cry, allowing us to this system to completely break so that we can heal it the right way. Everybody's not going to agree. That's not realistic. However, every human should agree that humanity and being treated like a human being, regardless of what you look like, where you're from, what your orientation is, whatever, every human, because some higher power has given them breath, deserves to exist without being harassed,
Yeah.
deserves to be able to put food on the table for their kids, deserves to not live paycheck to paycheck, deserves not to have, you know, recalls on food, deserves not to, deserves to be able to go outside and not feel like the planet is, we're not breathing fresh air. I mean, Cassie's close to Canada and they had some smoke issues. So let's just take this time for the Libra new moon because it's on the cusp of Libra Scorpio. The intentions can be twofold because it is definitely still the Libra new moon. So, again, check your chart, see where Libra is in your placements and those themes of partnership. It's not necessarily relationships. It is partnerships, and partnerships do not have to be romantic. Relationships, they don't mean romantic. They just mean it's usually with a it's a more of a one-on-one relationship rather than a collective. And so look at all of your one-on-one relationships with yourself, with your religion, with your collective, with your partners, with your children, with your coworkers, with your business partners, and get to the depths and the root of anything that needs to be kind of rooted out, and use the Scorpio energy to just heal it. I mean, water heals even if it's deep as the deepest ocean. But you know, I think it's, Cassie said earlier, this, how can your spiritual depth help the collective? You know, um, we gotta we gotta do better, y'all. Like there's just
We do. And the what I was speaking about before and forgiveness and stuff, this is not without sacrificing your moral code. Like there is no I'm never going to say to somebody, it's okay that you're horribly racist and homophobic. I'm fine with that. No, it's going to be like that's unacceptable because we're all humans. You agree we're all humans, right? Like, okay, well, let's start with that premise and fucking figure out how to build on top of that. But like, none of this work needs to sacrifice the moral center and your north star, whatever it is for you. um but also if your north star is dependent on somebody else's subjugation, then you need to really spend some time
that ain't your
looking
North
deeply
Star.
at that. Yeah, because
That ain't
that's
your North
not,
Star. That's not your North Star. Yeah.
no, that's not, that's just bad. That's bad, you guys. That's really bad. But if you're here with us, we know that's not
Yeah,
true about
for
you.
sure. And just for any future, if anybody chooses to protest, we all know I won't be outside because that's just not, y'all not catching me. But anybody that does, please, please, please be safe. Um, I've heard maybe recommendation on your arm marker, writing a lawyer's number or something so that you can, if you do get arrested, that you can make a phone call. Just take some precautions. We are working, we are fighting against people who don't play with a full deck and they're never going to play fair. So
Hmm.
just keep that in mind. Um, we'll do this and then we'll do this. Okay, so the universe is taking some souls from us every week. And I just think that at Cassie and I, boomer zennial age, this is hitting a little harder than it should because we've grown up with these people as celebrities and just, around. Um, First, one of my favorite movies, First Wives Club, Diane Keaton passed away. She did have a battle with an illness and passed away. To all of us who love anything brown sugar, D'Angelo passed away at 51. He had a battle with cancer. A special, special, special send of hugs, loves, and support to his son, who also lost his mother, R&B singer Angie Stone, earlier this year. And then finally, to Miss Major Griffin Gracie, one of the LGBTQIA plus activists, legends, and I want to say founding mothers of the revolution when it comes to queer activism. She was at Stonewall. She is a trans woman that recently passed away, but she lived till, what'd you say, 79, 79, 79?
Hmm.
And that is not always common for Black trans women, especially, to live a long age. So rest in the absolute most power to all of them, and especially to you, Miss Major Griffin Gracie. You have changed so many lives. I know that there are a lot of trans women out there that continue to look up to you and honor your spirit. Now, before we get to our celebrities, I just want to give, because it's Libra season, okay? And we did have the Victoria's Secret fashion show. I just want to give a special, special shout out because it is, okay, WNBA season's over, but still, I don't care. Angel Reese, girl, you did the damn thing at that Victoria's Secret fashion show. all these people that can continue to hate on you and talk about your body and talk about this and that. You are an athlete, you are an entrepreneur, and you are a motherfucking superstar. And you work that goddamn runway. And to have followed your career from college to LSU, continuing in the WNBA at the Chicago Sky, watching on Unrivaled, ma'am, you are only just beginning. You're 23. Live your life, girl. Live your
Mm,
goddamn life.
mm.
So that's
All
that's
of
what I want to
that.
say. Yes. So,
Mhm.
and with that, we are about to hit this Libra season. Celebrities. Cassie, who you gonna shout out first?
My first celebrity shout out is a early aughts musical icon, winner of the first season of The Masked Singer, whose Tiny Desk concert went viral because of how incredible it was. And he is now finally giving us the boots with the fur that we all have wanted since 2006. And of course, I'm talking about T-Pain. T-Pain is so I have long enjoyed his music as like a guilty pleasure, but then in recent years I saw him on a documentary film that was talking about auto tune actually, but he spoke so just um he was so like vulnerable about the fact that he'd been trying to break into music and had heard that sound, the auto-tune sound in like a J-Lo song and spent months scrubbing through like every type of music software till he could figure because he was like, I want to use that sound to like differentiate myself, basically, like make myself, give myself a signature kind of sound, right? And of course he did that, but then it became this flashpoint for criticism where it's like, well, he auto-tuned and it's ruining music, and like other musicians told him he had ruined music for people who could actually sing. Meanwhile, the man, of course, can fucking sing. He is like a great fucking singer and a great songwriter. It's just that he was looking for something to differentiate himself. So he used this sound. And that's why the Tiny Desk concert and he went viral for Masked Singer because he was stripped of the auto tune and still sounds fucking great. And T-Pain just seems like a nice man. Like I follow him on social media and he seems like he's like a nerdy, kind of silly guy. And he loves his wife and he always is saying really nice things about her. And I love him. So T-Pain, happy solar return to you. I look forward to your Crocs boots with the fur drop and seeing what comes next for you.
Cassie knows Mass Singer is my guilty pleasure, and I love it. And I'm so glad he won that. All right. So my first Libra celebrity, we'll stick with politics, but it's not who you think it is. So in uh 2019, she upset the incumbent Democratic caucus chair for the seat in the 14th District of New York House of Representatives. And she was the youngest, at 29, she was the youngest woman elected to Congress. That is, of course, AOC, Alexandria Ocasio Cortez, AOC, as she is famously called. I am very, very proud to continue to watch this woman speak out about all of the things and call people out very, very diplomatically, unlike her Aries counterpart, but very diplomatically. She says what she needs to say and calls out this federal government for everything that you're doing, especially the current shutdown of the government that we are experiencing. She is saying, why aren't we in here trying to fix this? What is going on? I'm here for the people. I don't care if you're Republican. I don't care if you're MAGA. I want you, everybody should have health care because she is a politician for the people, not for the party. And then this was one of the quotes that she said: I believe that in a modern, moral, and wealthy society, no person in America should be too poor to live. I agree. Okay.
Mhm.
That's it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Doesn't
Spoken
seem
like
like
spoken like
a
a true Libra,
stretch.
you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So my next celebrity check-in is a posthumous one, but her literary legacy lives on and just continues to become more and more relevant. She is the author of, let's see here. Oh, one, two, three, a lot of books. A lot of books. I did not count them all before doing the show, but I am talking about Bell Hooks. She's icon of feminist and literary theory, writing about intersectionalism, race, class, teaching, sexuality. She has written children's books, including Grump Grown Growl, B Boy Buzz, Happy to Be Nappy, and then many adult books that are taught across universities in America till they, I don't know, till they ban them. You know, Rock My Soul, Black People and Self Esteem, Teaching Community, A Pedagogy of Hope, Communion, The Female Search for Love, Where We Stand, Class Matters, Feminism is for Everybody, Justice, Childhood Love Lessons. I first read Bell Hooks in college, and lots of white women and white girls getting exposed to her for the first time. It's just like, you know, mind blown. And um, her books are ones that continue to get, like, if you ever Google, what books should I read about, racism and doing better in society, she is an author whose texts come up on every single one of those lists. And she was named one of Time Magazine's 100 visionary 100 women of the year, Utney Readers, 100 Visionaries Who Could Change Your Life, The Atlantic's one of the nation's leading intellectuals. Um, and yeah, if you've never read anything by her, I strongly recommend it. She's got a very accessible and beautiful writing style, that makes the heavy and academic material really easy to understand. And I think it's really important in the time we're in to get physical copies of books, if you don't already, and support your local library. Check some stuff out there, because they can't take your mind away, you know?
Read, read a book. Actually
Please.
read it.
Respectfully, please.
Read a book or an article, but read.
Just one of the essays, like
Yeah, just
a
read
chapter.
something. It's okay. We grew up reading. That's what we had to do. So, all right, my next Libra celebrity, of course, we're back to the WNBA because I love it. Four-time WNBA champion, once with the LA Sparks, three times with the current WNBA champions, Las Vegas Aces, six-time WNBA All-Star, two-time gold medalist, 2025 unrivaled Finals MVP, 2025 unrivaled champion, and 2022 NBA Finals MVP. How do you win a unrivaled championship and a WNBA championship in the same year?
That's
Damn.
crazy.
I am talking of another the no I am speaking of nobody other than the point guard herself, Chelsea Gray. Thank you so much for all that you do for women's basketball. Yeah, like your accolades speak for themselves. So
We would need another show to go.
Get it? I'm just saying. How do you win two championships? Two in the same year.
Yeah, that's
Crazy.
crazy. Mhm.
And Unrivaled was 3-on-3. That was hard. And she ended up pulling like Angel, and Angel was on her Unrivaled team. Angel got injured and Chelsea carried the team. Her and Brittany Sykes carried the team the rest of the way, but I think Chelsea made the game winning shot for
Wow.
the Unrivaled. And then of course she's with the Las Vegas Aces, who have now won their third championship, with they of course have another legend on there, but she's a Leo, so we won't talk about it. But shout out to you, Chelsea Gray. Thank you. And finally, because it's Libra season, and you know what? This Libra has listen, when I tell you God don't play about his favorite soldiers, she one of them. You can tell. You can tell. Because you can't take nobody to court and not have no proof. And then have her come outside and be like, in every other week, every other day, and tell you, I told you I didn't do nothing. And then have the best album release ever. Old school 2025. Nobody was ready. Is she the drama? Maybe, but who cares? She's still fabulous. Mommy of three, soon to be four. She has broken records as a female rap artist. You can tell why she has, a hater. But anyway, and we knew her from IG and Love and Hip Hop. Been the same person. I will tell you one thing. Now I have noticed, same. No matter what her body look like, that lady has stayed the same. Okay. 2018 Invasion of Privacy is the best-selling, highest certified female rap album of the 21st century. She's the first solo female rapper to win a Grammy Award for Best Rap Album. In 2025, of course, she did release I Am the Drama. It debuted atop the Billboard 200, as did Invasion of Privacy. So she is the highest certified female rap album of, I'm sorry, she is the highest certified female rap album of the 2020s. I can actually read.
Yeah.
Only female rapper to achieve multiple solo number ones, the only to earn number one singles in 2 decades. She did it in the 2010s and the 2020s. BT, all kinds of things. Of course, we're talking about Cardi B.
Love her. Have loved her since Invasion of Privacy. And I recently saw somebody post on like they took a screenshot of a comment that someone left. Cardi did an interview with Jay Shetty, I think, and it was
Mm-hmm,
somebody had left this
mm-hmm.
comment on YouTube um that Cardi B had come to the hotel where she worked, and that day the woman didn't have childcare and her toddler was behind the desk and she was very worried. She saw Cardi see her and she was like, oh my gosh, like she's gonna complain, it's gonna be a whole thing. And then but Cardi's like, is that your daughter? And she said, yeah. And she's like, oh, I used to have to come to work with my mom sometimes too. And she later came back, gave her a fat tip, had coloring books, toys, snacks, and stuff for the little girl, and was just like, she's so cute, like, keep doing your thing or whatever, and was so nice about it. And I'm just like, that's that's
She's a
yes,
genuine
that's
person. She's a genuine,
hmm
real person. Like, you can tell
yeah.
that celebrity didn't change her.
Hmm.
It just made her more famous, but it didn't like
Yeah.
her. And what I do appreciate is that she has around her family. She doesn't have outside people, and that's a really important, interesting thing for a celebrity, to keep the real ones close to them, because so many other people are yes men and they want the attention and the financial benefit that comes with being around somebody famous like that. Her dad I've seen her dad with his grandkids all the time, all the time.
Hmm.
And she is a very active, like she is an active mother. And so I cannot wait to see this next little baby that she has. I am so happy for her. I am proud that she continues to stand exactly who she is, that she's continuing to promote music, that she is fashionista, like probably one of the most fashionable rap girlies, personally, I think. Like, just
Mm-hmm.
she knows what her aesthetic is and has gorgeous. I think she's been at the Met Gala a handful of times,
Mm-hmm.
and she's done a couple of campaigns. And so all of these things, all of these negative things that people have to say, oh, she's doing that, having another baby. Who cares? Who cares? She is happy, her kids are happy, and she's paying for it.
Yeah,
So
she's rich. What do you fucking care? Like, yeah, if money was no object, I'd have 4 or 5 kids too. Shit, like, what business of it is of yours is it? Like, yeah,
and she said
she's
she liked it. She liked to throw it back. So she got pregnant.
right. Why do you keep having kids? Because I keep fucking.
Why you ask me a dumb question?
Yeah,
Oh my
stupid.
goodness. But congrats to Cardi B and Stefan Diggs on their next child. And congrats, Cardi B. Am I the drama? Everybody says that shit is hot. Okay.
Hmm.
So get it, girl.
And Cardi B also, like, I've said this before about her probably on this show, that she just eats on a feature. Like, put her on somebody else's song, and she is just untouchable, man. Like she did a verse on Wannabe with Glorilla and Megan Thee Stallion, which was an excellent song on its own. And her verse is crazy. It goes hard. Like, she's so fucking good on a feature. I love when a rapper brings something to a
Mhm.
feature, rather than just like being a name to be
Yeah,
there and
exactly.
phoning it in. But she always seems like she's really stepping up in those verses. But of course, like, can absolutely carry a song on her own. No problem. But there's not uh I think she is pretty selective about who she brings on to feature on her songs, because she picks people who don't sound, like are unexpected, I guess is what I would say. Like, her song with Kaylani is so good, and just, there's,
Swoon.
yeah. Right.
All that Venus energy.
Mm, mm, mm.
Yeah. Well, if you want to hit us up, it's still there. If not, it's fine. You'll see us next time. But in honor of the new moon in Libra on the 21st, because Libra is ruled by Venus, we are going to do Megan Watterson's The Divine Feminine Oracle, because one of my favorite decks has lovely goddesses in here. And oh, this is also the back, just in case you guys want to see. But
Mhm.
yeah, we hope you have a great Libra/Scorpio season. And you really just consider, these time, nothing about this time is easy, but it is worth the healing. It is worth the depth. It is worth challenging yourself, and your beliefs and your prejudices, I think, for a lot of people, challenge what you think, challenge your homophobia, challenge your transphobia. Um,
Mhm.
we are living in times where none of that shit should fucking matter. Honestly, grow up. If it's
It's not
not
going to
about,
matter when the flood
yeah,
comes.
if it's not something that you're interested in, don't worry about it. Okay, ain't got nothing to do with you.
Mhm.
All right, madam. Oh,
All right.
hold on. Oops. Okay, go ahead. I'm ready now. Go ahead. Sorry. False start.
Go. All right. Yeah.
Ooh. We have Lala The saint of spoken words. Every word I say becomes a prayer. I'm the author of my own story.
Oh.
Okay.
Hmm.
Quite intense, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. So she is the
Hmm.
saint of spoken words. All right, bear with me, y'all. These do have a little bit of a longer, but you know what? We got time. You can cut it off if you want to.
You don't want to. You want to
No,
know more.
these are good. These are good, I promise. Every time. I don't think I've ever pulled this one actually.
I was going to say we definitely have it on the show.
Mm-mm.
I've not seen this
No,
one.
I don't think I've ever pulled this one before. All right. Who she is. Lala embodies the potency and power of our words to create our own reality. Lala Laded, or Lalas Shawari, was a Kashmiri mystic and poet who lived in the 14th century. She was married at the age of 12, but was an extremely unhappy wife. She left her home at the age of 24 to take sannyasi renunciation. She became a Shaivite, a devotee of Shiva. Lala walked the streets naked, dancing and reciting her love poems to the divine. She wore only markings of her devotion to Shiva on her forehead. Lala is the creator of a mystical form of poetry called Vakhs, Vakhs, which means speech or voice. The verses of poetry that she spoke are considered the earliest compositions of the Kashmiri language. Her words reflect the spiritual truth of non duality that she realized as a mystic. Above temple, below idol are one. With her poetry, she found unity in all things and the freedom that follows. I, Lala, entered through the door of the garden of my mind and saw Shiva and Shakti united into one. Oh, joy. There I became immersed in the lake of nectar and died even while I was still alive. What can death do to me now? The Kashmiri language is filled with her sayings. She is known as a prophetess, a saint, even an avatar. Although illiterate, she used the inherent power of her every word to transcend duality and enter a state of blissful union with the divine. When your soul selects her card, words have the power to shift our reality or continue to reinforce it. Louise Hay, founder of Hay House, turned to me during a dinner party, looked me right in the eyes, and declared, "Every word you say is an affirmation." This is perhaps one of the most crucial spiritual lessons to remember. If we are not separate from the soul, and if the soul is not separate from the divine, then we have the power to co create our life. Lala is the invitation to pay close attention to each word we say to ourselves within and to words we say about ourselves to the people we love. She is the acknowledgement from the soul that our every sentence is a prayer. If we want more love, more light, more of that joy and freedom that expands our capacity to be present in the world, then Lala reminds us that we can become the author of our own reality right now. We can speak our desires into being. Lala is the reminder that we are so powerful that changing the words we use to describe ourselves can change the trajectory of our lives. We can choose to focus our attention on each I am statement we say, and we can infuse our lives with the nectar that comes when we act on the truth that we are not separate from the divine. The soul voice meditation. What are the most powerful words for me to use frequently right now? The intention. Every word I say becomes a prayer. I am the author of my own story. Won't goddess do it every time, y'all? I'm just saying.
Mm,
And
mm.
what I found that was a great one, of course, always. So interesting about that is talking about the words that we are speaking and how that has been a running theme of negative words and negative speak throughout all of the things. And now reflecting on that, saying we have the power to speak positively to ourselves, especially to yourself. How you talk to yourself, if you wouldn't talk to your friends like that, or you wouldn't talk to your partner like that, or your children, don't talk to yourself like that. That is the biggest lesson of that. You are the author of your own story. You create your own reality. And so if you say things about yourself, those things are liable to come through true. So just be careful. It's never what you say, it's how you say it. And with that, subscribe, like it, share it if you want to. We love having y'all here enjoying us, enjoying our friendship. But have a great new moon in Libra. Get those intentions. Help your collective. Stay safe out there. Every day that we're above ground, we all should be blessed and thankful. Cassie girl, I love you.
I
Wouldn't
love you,
do
my
the show
friend.
without you. Glad I don't have to. And y'all, we out of here. It's all love. Cause what?
Mm.
Peace.